Hello and welcome back. I'm Joe and this is Workers and Resources Soviet Republic. Now, don't look so surprised, but it's the end of the second winter. We're still alive. The university just got finished. Let's see what else there's to do. Yeah, we're still in the same picture. First of all, awesome feedback from anyone. This is episode 6, and after episode 2, there were already so many things that people would have done different that they told me I was doing wrong, that they told me I could optimize, and yeah, totally true. I don't think this is the most ideal way to do something, and I don't think there is a most ideal way to do something. There's a really efficient way to do something if you have certain environmental properties that you can go by, which I believe this map is maybe not unique, but it offers a lot of different challenges and a lot of different places where you can go, and I love that. But here are a couple things that people told me. For example, well, one thing that just came out, building these 2 stores is just a little bit of a waste, simply because I cannot set the number of sellers to 2 or 3 per store. I have to set it to 5, which means 10 people are being used here, when if I would have built the larger shopping center, not the huge one, but the larger one, it would have been more expensive in the beginning, but I can set the number of sellers to just 5, and that would have been a lot better for workforce. So that's one thing. The other thing, the placement of this guy may not be the best, but I'm also not going on the most optimal extension here, simply because I care about this run from the workplace or from the bus station to the heating plant by far the most. I need this one to be fast and quick and cleared up, especially in the winter, so we have heat, and that's the main thing. But as far as I know, this one will just send out people to both sides more evenly. So if you place it on a more centralized intersection area, this may be faster. And that's great. What else was there? Oh, there was a cool immersion thing. The vehicle depot that I built here, I should have built right at the border post, because then it's more like I'm importing from other countries, and I actually have to transport all the vehicles that I get in all the different locations from here, which honestly I really like. I want to do that next time this happens. That would be great. Simply because you can go in here and click and buy all the things that you want, but honestly I don't like that magic import thing. I think having something on the border is nicer, and even later on when I have vehicle productions, I could just send all the vehicles to the border import-export places and then decide what I want to do with them from there. There were more things that people were pointing out, but we are here. One thing that I did add, this little power plant, we need that, so I don't need a gas station here. That's important. I'm importing the fuel already, and it costs money, and you know, that's not surprising. We have the university up and running. It took a while to build. I had a time-lapse on there, but honestly, I'm probably not going to show you time-lapses of building buildings. I love time-lapses of building buildings. That's like one of the most fun things in the game, the most satisfying things in the game, but if I only have 4 or 5 people working at a large construction site like this, it will take so long. The video, the time-lapse I would have had to collapse down was over 40 minutes long. And it just, either you're not going to see anything, or you're going to see a really long time-lapse, neither of which are what I wanted to do. Sorry, I'm still a little sick, but I'm getting there. Yeah. So the farm is done. The first sowing day, I believe, is on May 4th, so we still have a little bit of time to get things ready, and the tractors should be able to go out for the first sowing right away. I do want to reassign all of these. Let's do this quick. Take all of these away, and then assign the ones that are closer first. So that one, that one, that one, that one, that one, that one, that one. And the rest, I don't care, so you can assign those manually. Cool. Make you happy. The other, oh, there was one more thing. I'm using a truck right now to do both of these deliveries, or a truck each, which this truck with clothing is not a commodity that is used a lot. Like, it trickles down. So what I can do now with the advanced setup is set up this truck to actually do everything I need for the delivery. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to show you right here. I'm going to tell it to also pick up clothes. And then I go to advanced settings. And instead of loading everything, I will just tell it to not load anything. Only load this. And it'll make sense when I get there. Every click here adds 10% of the resources to your limit. And I want to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I asked the developers to implement something that I can see how much I have, because you can sorry, you can go over 100% and then it just, the math doesn't work, but you can do it manually. So I'm assigning food here, and I will assign clothes for the other 20%. And what I wanted to do now is simply go from the loading station down here, first go to the store and unload, just close. I'm not going to tell it to wait until unloaded, because it will never overload this number. It will always only load this number of clothing and this number of food when it fills up, which is awesome. And then I will have it wait until unloaded, and if this becomes a real problem, I will fix it. But for right now, I think the ratio is just about right, but it can be easily adjusted, which means, yeah, this is fine, which means I'll let this run. I would like this one to leave. Once that one leaves, I will send it to the... Actually, I may be able to do this. When you are done, go to the depot and do nothing. I think that's how you can do that. Yep. Other thing, I did have to buy 10 more people each, so 20 more people. And I want to talk about that, because most of the time when I play, I usually start with 200 people. And what I do is I build 4 of these buildings, or similar sized, and fill them up with 50 people each. That's 200 people. And I do that, I have done that for a long time. For this season, and I haven't taken out a loan, I don't know if you can tell, but for this season, I didn't do that. I tried to go really cheap and really low end. The problem is, all the buildings that I have here there are only 2 residential buildings, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and now 8 buildings that are needed to support anything these residents do. Takes up a lot of workers. So if you only have, like I had 100 and 120 for a long time, if you only have that many workers, you just don't have workers left over to do any work. So what happened for me was I didn't have enough workers in the heating plant, I still don't have enough workers working in the processing plant. I just didn't have enough workers to do all the things that I needed to do. So there's a critical number, critical mass that you need to supply all your 8 supply buildings, or consumable the buildings that are in the city, your 8 city buildings. You need to supply them with enough workers. And once you have those supplied and you have a surplus on workers, you can do everything else, but there's a minimum number. And I found that number to be closer to 150. You maybe not need 200, but 150 is a good number. Since both of these buildings can only hold 75, plus you can have some 21-year-olds living in here. We don't have that yet because we're not at the max, but we're just getting an upswing in births. So it's going to happen pretty soon. Which means get 3 buildings of this size and get at least 150 people. If you have less than that, you're probably not going to make it. Well, you're going to spend a lot more money just because you tried to save money is what I'm getting at, and that's bad for your bank account, obviously. And then the other thing, like I told you before, this one, the sport facility, if sport is the only problem you have, which is what I have right now, but people are still relatively happy and are not escaping, it's probably fine. But it's worth to build a swimming pool if that means you don't lose as many people your first and second year, because that again costs you money, and just by losing 20 people, having that many people escape, you lose those, and that's the money that you can't get back. I do realize that my camera is not on, so hi, this is me. You remember how I am, but that's the thing that I want to do, have the camera on down there. Great. Wow, I feel like I've been talking a lot the last few episodes, but honestly, that is the starting part of every game. You have to think about what you're doing and why you're doing it and where you're doing it and how you're doing it and all those things. I'm gonna go with stop building here. I want all available personnel to go here so we can start sowing these fields. Oh, two more things. Assigning the distribution office to the aggregate loading if there is a conveyor engine connected in between does not work. It will actually tell you that. I'm gonna pause this because I don't well, no, that can actually go here. So what I do here is load 10% gravel. There is an error message. Connection with conveyor engine or oil pump are unsupported when wanting to load at this building. Set percent to 0. So this doesn't work simply because the aggregate loading station here does not understand that there's a connected storage back here. It only looks at the engine, and the engine doesn't have an internal storage. So whatever percentage you set at the DO, it will just take everything all the time. So what I had to do is assign the distribution office directly to the storage, which means it's a much slower loading process, but you can actually make sure that you at least have some gravel in storage all the time. And we're exporting, is what I'm getting at. Just last month, we exported 48 tons for 600 bucks. Cool. If we look at last year, we exported almost 4,000. Does it offset our anything? No, but it's better than nothing because that means over time, and just let's look at all. Over time, we made 5,000 that we didn't have before, and that little bit helps you already. And I did do the math. I wrote it down. You can verify it. I did do the math. Pretty simple. A truck, the trucks that I have, can carry 12 tons of gravel. Right now, 1 ton of gravel, and you can do this yourself. 1 ton of gravel is worth. Where is it? There. 1 ton of gravel is worth 11.49 ruble per ton. That's 1,000 kilogram. That's what you sell it. So 12 times 11.49 is about 140. It's a little less than that, but that's what you make per trip. Great. The next thing to look at is your fuel. Your dumper in this case can hold, it's about 700 liters when I looked at it. So 700 liters, that's 0.7 tons of fuel, where 1 ton of fuel currently costs 106 ruble to sell. I think I mixed the numbers up here, but it's still pretty close. To buy, it's 117. So 0.7 times 117 gives you the number of rubles that you pay per full fuel load. And in this case, it's about 70 or 80. I did the wrong number, I know that, but it's around 70 or 80 per full fuel load. And now, the other thing, I do know that trucks take about 100 liters to go from this building to this building. And that's pretty representative of everywhere on my starter area. So 100 liters per trip, which means there's 3.5 trips for every full tank, which tells me, 3.5, is that right? Yes, so 3.5, so really there are 7 trips, but you have to go there and back. So 3.5 trips, which I'm assuming is just equivalent to 3 exports. And 3 exports yields 12 tons times 3 exports is a little more than 400 ruble. Doesn't sound like a lot, but if you don't have any, this is a source of income that's actually worth it as long as your trucks are not doing anything else. There are more lucrative options to employ, but you don't have any resources yet, so that's what you're stuck with. Once we have food, that all changes, and I may not have to use fuel to do gravel exports. But for right now, that's all we have. And we're building up. Okay, now really the last thing, and then I actually want to do something. Up here, this area, gravel quarries work faster if you give them power. This thing, as you can see, is actually being pulled for power right now, and there's nobody working here. So it's definitely the gravel quarries that are taking the power. The problem with this guy is it doesn't supply continuous power. So if I want my gravel quarries to have power all the time, and I can use the fuel that is provided in here, I have to build a subnet here. And that's what we're going to start with. I feel like this is a half an episode. You probably would have seen that by the time you clicked on this already. But what we're going to do, in the sense of we are not going outside of vanilla if we can avoid it, let's plan this out. What I want, this is probably fine. This is not complicated. Just place it, plop it down. Cool. Yeah, connect. No, no. Okay, F4 turns off the snapping, and then we can do this. Cool. F4 on again. We need a switch there. Why do I put a switch there? It seems weird. We need it so we can connect this one to the power network, so when there's surplus of power that we're producing, there you go, put it into a network. And we need a substation that is connected to a lot of stuff that we care about. And the stuff that I care about is mostly the quarries right now and the gravel pit. Like, there's a lot of stuff here that I care about, but it also has to fit into where we are. And if you fit there, I may move the switch. It looks like I can reach everything, and that's what I care about. Yeah, it's definitely reaching everything that I care about, plus a little bit over here, and that is awesome. So this switch will just move from this side, you go away, from this side over to the other side, and then everything should be just dandy. This looks fine. The smallest medium voltage wires are totally fine for this operation. This windmill does not produce that much. It just produces enough for this area when it's running at 100%, but that usually doesn't happen. We have another windmill over here. We should probably do the same thing. There are other transformer options, obviously, but there are mods, and I would like to stay away from them, at least for a little while longer. So let's not go there. Connect this one somewhere where it makes enough sense, and it doesn't take away any of the other connections. Yeah, let's just make it a gravel road. I'll be okay with that. I'll survive this. And then again, this one has to connect there. If we can get over this, I can. This one needs to go to the other switch that we already have. I am not anticipating building much else here, so this should all be fine. We can assign that. And when we're ready, this will all be added to the network. Similar here, this one needs power too, but I have the bigger windmill over here. And so far it's been fine. It's more the short bursts. Avoid the quarry to fill up your vehicles when there is need for fuel. And then they leave and go all the long way out here. If the coal power plant is without power for a second, it will just not produce for a second, but then if the power comes back, it will turn back on. So it's not... As long as there is power in the day, it's good enough. But for the quarry, you need a little more continuous flow. All right. All that is in. I'm not going to connect the rest of the power here, and it will just be a simple line to this one, and it should probably be... Not going to be the smallest, it's going to be the second smallest. 1.2 megawatts should be just fine for that whole area. But what we should actually do, and what I actually want to concentrate on... oh, this one is done. Awesome. And look at this. Actually, everything is running. I do hope the tractors will not try to go to the gas station up there, because same problem. If power is out here and they will go all the way out there, I will just have to build another substation here. That makes everything worth it. But for right now, everything here is working. I do believe these guys have nothing to do right now. Unfinished road. So let's build this one first, and I am not planning on completing this 31 ton steel monstrosity because just money reasons. So for right now, we're going to use the truck that hopefully gets out of here at some point. Wow, I thought we were going to see this truck already parked here, but obviously we aren't. And that is the point. That is the point. Clothing is just not used at a rate that warrants a big truck to run here, and I don't want to spend money on buying a smaller truck either. So that's where we are. Gravel is good. I did gravel the first road up to the border posts. It's obviously just gravel and not asphalt, so that's where that is, but it goes a little faster now. Everything is coming in here. This all looks good. Okay, the next thing that someone else pointed out, and I'm just bad at names, but I know this one was Jan. There were a lot of other things that were pointed out, but Jan was saying, why don't you plan for your road? Like, get it over with. You need to plan for it, otherwise later on you will just have to destroy things that you weren't planning on destroying, and he's absolutely right. That is the way it goes. I need the rail connections. So, I've been thinking, I believe the rail construction office definitely has to be in this area. That's where we have to start. And I think I would like to have a gravel loading facility here as well to pick up from our first gravel aggregate storage, so we don't have to build one of these everywhere. And that should be fine. But then I have to figure out where we're going. It's pretty hilly in this area. It's not very hilly in that area, and this will be coal at some point, probably not for a little while. Once we make some money off food, that may change, but for right now, we don't. Oh, I did buy tractors and harvesters. The earlier you buy, the less inflation will get you, so it was a little cheaper to buy it while you weren't here. But 3 of each, we should be able to harvest all 12 fields that we have there, I hope. I will not have enough trucks to make it all work, but we're going to do our best. I'm going to just snag trucks from the distribution offices and the construction offices, so then we have 4, and hopefully that will be enough. And I can just throw them into the farm. At that point, they will take care of stuff, or of things of picking up from the fields. But here we are. Here we are. Yeah. Let's get started. Rail. Generally, I do not want to build rail that's not electrified anymore, but to get started, it is a lot cheaper and faster, and that is important, to use concrete base. Don't use wood, because the difference between building... I can't do this. Difference between building wood-based and concrete-based is barely anything, and the speed difference, you're almost twice as fast on a concrete rail, which... okay, your diesel trains can only go up to 120. Most of them will be in the 75 to 100 range, so maybe it doesn't matter to you that much, but once you want to upgrade later, it is cheaper to upgrade from concrete to electrified than from wood to electrified, and it's also a little faster. A lot of things you can consider there. None of them are really game changers or game breakers. Cool. There was an update today. Peter said that you can now build footpath over rail again. Let's check that. No, I don't see it. That's okay. Maybe we'll come out eventually. Maybe I have to build new rail first. But now I know that we can't do rail over paths. That's fine. I'm totally fine with that. But where should our rail run, the coal rail? These are questions that we have to answer because we have to plan them eventually, and then once we have steel, or once we have money for steel, we have to actually start building our rail, because it takes forever to build rail. Even with the faster, newer rail construction cranes, it's not necessarily that much faster. So, yeah. Okay, I think my best plan of attack is to build the consumer industry first. So train aggregate loading would be one of them. I need you to come in here. Actually, this road is not important anymore, so that can go away. But let's build train aggregate loading. It should be fine. Give it some way to get power. I think this looks good. And first one, bang. Second one, and this may be surprising to you, I need a train platform. And I think building a bigger one may be beneficial here because we can use it for multiple purposes. But we need a way to get to this university and also to, just to travel from this area. I am planning on expanding the city a little bit. It's not going to be the pretty city, but since we have the big university here, which we don't really have a choice in the beginning, I do want to make this whole area count. Let's connect that one. I think there was a problem connecting here, but maybe there isn't anymore. Oh, look at that. Now people can actually run there. Beautiful. Yeah, built that. Get started on that part. This area, I am just not planning on putting a rail through there. Everything that we're going to do, we're going to send to this depot, which is probably, maybe it's a mistake, maybe it's not. But I could get to it from this side. Pretty easy, relatively easy, or I could get to it from the other side, but there's a big mountain there. I don't want the mountain. Then we're over here. We are producing coal in here. Coal will definitely need a way to pick up coal. So another train aggregate loading station. If I can put it somewhat out of the way, I will, because I am hoping that I can build general steel production areas on the other side of this mountain, which is on this side. I don't know if that's going to happen, but one can hope. Okay, that works. We don't need that one. That can go through there. All of this so far is doing exactly what I needed to do. There is an argument to be made to put a storage unit somewhere here, but I think we will be okay just delivering here with trucks. I don't see us needing a train connection for that. So there are first ones. And I think that's a good start. Let's see how can we connect to there, to here. One of the rules that I thought of a while ago, and I shared that with a few people, was to have a mainline idea, and a mainline will not have any stops on the mainline. But they're just branches falling off the mainline that then get connected or then get a stop on it. So this one will be a branch. It has to be connected somewhere. The main line that I am envisioning probably goes through somewhere here. And this one doesn't actually have to be connected on this side because there's nothing passengers will go to through this mountain, so there's no need to worry about that. Let's just get started. We gotta start somewhere. Too steep, too steep. Yes, yes. No nuclear excavator. Landscaping is part of the game. I will always say that. I will always defend that because, yes, it is not pretty. It is not simple. Am I off? Yes, I had my snap off. It is not pretty. It's not simple. It is not the easiest thing in the world to do, but it is part of this game, and therefore we are going to use it. Actually, I want you to go out here first, because I'm assuming my city will grow on this side a little bit, so it's not cut through the future city. Got that one there, that one here. These guys need to connect to something here, and I am highly anticipating. This is an industrial area. I'm seeing this happening. That the main line just goes for here. There's not going to be a ton of traffic here. The only thing we're going to do is gravel. Could we put a bridge over here? It is an option. It's just gravel. I just don't see much else being produced in this area unless I use this to do concrete and prefab panels. Cement and prefab panels and all that stuff. Ooh, now I have something in my head. Well, that's not helping anyone. With that in mind, what are the other options that we have here? Probably, maybe, no, that's all power cables going through there. I think where it is still okay, but we will go backwards just a little bit. Ooh, look at this, double semaphore. They added this, I haven't played with it yet. I have to, but I haven't played with it yet, so I'll get there. Let's have this one go out to the border a little bit so we have a little more room to play with. And then I think all I want to do is connect this as much as I can. I saw some yellow, so we just have to be a little patient. And 2 excavators make pretty quick work of this, so honestly, this is just fine. I would rather have you go through the mountain than like have a really weird hump there, so that's what we're going to do here. Because we do have to go down. Yeah, this is working. No problem. Make it a little wider so we can fit the second rail here too. If you go all the way to here, and then there you go. This is not the pretty season. If there's something weird going on with any connections, we don't worry about it too much. Yeah, it was a graphical glitch here. It wasn't actually the game doing something. But there we go. We have those connected. Gravel station. Gravel, where should I connect you to? Now, we do know very well... Oh, this is actually a perfect place to do exactly what I needed to do. You see what I see? I got a free gully right here without having to do anything. And now I can just place our junction here for free. I'm probably gonna... No, the junction can go right there. This one I can realign a little bit, and then we still have room here to put the concrete and prefab panels. That is awesome. Bridges, I treat a little differently. I'm okay if we electrify them right away. Simply because they are built as a piece anyways, and the only reason to not electrify right away is because your rail construction office can build more continuously, but we don't have to worry about that. Otherwise, we would have to upgrade the bridges again later, and we don't want to do that. Okay, simple rule as usual, a little bit far out. And then come here, and then ideally you connect somewhere there. I think this is a job for just a little bit of bulldozer action. Now at this point, everything is white. The white highlight means do not press this button. That's what that button means. Level terrain, yeah, sure. Oh, it's a bulldozer, no. I only have one bulldozer, we can't do that. But we have a lot of these guys. So let's get this down. Even on this side, get it down over here. Yeah, this is gonna work just fine. It's perfect. When we actually assign that, when we build it, that will look better. I think this is still not doing what I wanted to do. Oh, I thought we were gonna be there already. Here we are. It took a little bit of convincing, but I think we will benefit from this little intersection because now our rail construction office shouldn't block everyone else all the time. So let's just get these sorted out. And I don't like where you are anymore at this point, but train aggregate loading. We will still need this. It's a thing. I think putting you at this angle may be beneficial. Let's get our construction office out. It's just a normal one, nothing too fancy. No mods unless we really need them. This, I don't like that the only entrance is, or the only gravel entrance is like this, but I think we can manage. Now, get you back and back. Connect you to here, but no. Straight out. Connect. And then just two of these plop right in here. We should now have an entry and an exit point, and as long as we don't add any signals, they will be able to build most of this pretty independently of any interference. Last pieces, let's get our conveyor engine in here. 1, 2, 3 is what we want. That'll be lovely, very, very lovely if I can actually get this in a way that fits here. But I think for that we will have to disconnect this guy. Let's get that one off the road quick. Cool. Pause this so we don't break everything. At this point, since I'm already adding an extra node here, I just take the whole road out. And let's just see. It's not as pretty as I want it, but it's as useful as I want it. And this road can exist. Nice. Maybe we'll just connect one more. I think that's fine. This road can exist. Awesome. This one is a little more scary. Why? I need to be able to get a bus out here. A bus with people. If I can't do that, you can't build any rail. And especially this area is very prone to traffic jams because rail construction offices will wait here once I put a signal there. So either I build a bridge over this, or do it this way. I don't think there's enough room for me to actually get a bridge over anything or go under anywhere, so this is what we're gonna do. Just like this. Let the buses figure it out. There's that connection. Let's do some more here. Now this is supposed to be a main artery, so we're not going to just go straight over that. I do think this is an opportunity for a tunnel. Tunnels take forever to build. I don't like that you're not looking right on that side. Don't like that at all. Like, look at this. There's so much tunnel looking out. I don't like the look of that. So the next option, let's turn our topography on. We are here. There's a little tunnel piece there. There is a little straight up piece here. There's another tunnel piece over here, but we're not going to be able to get to it. I think our best bet is to run across this section instead of where I am right now. Let's do that. Take you out, take you back a little. And then build a cross bridge just right over here. You don't need to build it right there. The problem is with the bridges in this game, you have to give them a starting point. You have to start on the ground. Not most ideal, but it's the way it is. And I don't want to lose any height. Let's see. Yeah, bridges can be real right away. E, E. E, E to lift. Can we get over? No. Ooh, this is going to be a little bit of work. 1, 2, 3. 3 E's. 3 E's get over. So maybe I can do this. And then over. 1. I'm already leveling out. I just went down 1. Go there. Go parallel. Okay, okay. I think we're in business. I think we are in business. And now, I think if we can just connect to this flat area over here, we are doing just fine. Relatively straight. That's okay. Don't see a real problem with that. And we're good. Now we're just regular rail on the ground again. That goes somewhere. Let's turn this off. Topography. Let's turn our speed back on. And here we are. Now, I think, from experience, I know that there's only one junction that works for this, but this may become a really, really, really busy junction, so we may even have these two go straight through. Just trying to find a path here where we can actually go through. These two will go straight through and will not have any exits off of it, but they will have 2 branches coming off on each side. The branches are the pieces that connect to the junction that we're going to put in here in a second. So let's get that one there. Did you connect? Yes, you did. Make this one nicely mirrored. Yes, 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 yes. This looks great. Connect you there. Okay. So now anyone that needs to go either here or here will have to go on the outside junctions. Everyone else should go through the middle. And that is very desirable. To complete this, we have to raise the terrain around these, because we will build another junction like we just have. It feels like we are doing a lot of planning in this episode. But honestly, that's the whole game. You have to plan. It's a planned economy game. Without the planning, you will not get anything done. And at some point, like it was pointed out, I have to start planning on rail. Otherwise, it's just going to be really hard to add that in later. And I think that is very, very fair. It appears that it didn't go high enough. Turn this one on again. From here to here. Nope. How about the truss bridge? Is that doing any better? Nope. So we need a little more. Oh, look at that. There's a whole other level coming up. There it is. Now they're the same. Make it this wide. Very good. I would like to use a different bridge every once in a while, so you. Oh, come on. Just do the thing. May not have enough room yet. I do like the new topography look. That is great. For those of you that really hate the leveling, I'm going to skip ahead a little bit. That was the first side. I think this looks pretty good. The next side should be easier, but there's a mountain here that we need to climb. Gosh. Let's see. Too steep of a descent. Yes, of course. But it can make it all work. I do realize this takes a while to do, and it's all It's, yeah, you gotta bring some patience. It's just part of it. Just deal with it, okay? Just deal with it. I do hope that at this point we will have the clothing truck waiting in the depot, because we will need that at some point. Look at this! We can actually get through here. That didn't take long at all, honestly. We are at double speed. We are using a lot of fuel, but overall, this... I expected this to take a lot longer. Now, of course, I didn't wiggle it. You gotta wiggle it if you want to put two rail tracks next to each other. So that one's good, but this one won't be for a while. So let's do just a little bit of this until it's happy. Now we can try again. Nope, still not happy. Try again. Wiggle from the other track. That may help us. So let's go from here all the way there. Now these two should be pretty level and ready to go. Cool. All we have to do now is connect the rest of the rail tracks. And that is not trivial, but it is something that I don't need you to watch the whole thing of. So, yeah. I think we're at a good point of the episode. Our guys over here are doing things. Our growing process is almost halfway through. Where is this guy? Why is nobody buying clothing? Look at this, only lost 0.2 tons. At some point, I'm just going to have to send him here to unload everything he has, and then I'm sending him straight to the farm. Because that's what we'll have to do. And then once the farm is starting to get full, I hope this thing is done, which it may be, it may not be. How are we doing on people? 75, 75, which means this number is no longer 0. Okay, we got to fix that. Let's assign one of these residential buildings. We need more room. If there are people, we cannot have them escape because we're not giving them room to live. That's a problem. I will finish out this. No, I don't think there will be anything surprising there. Not going to do this one. We'll save that for another time, but that's where we are. Things are looking pretty good. I still have a little bit of money left. We are really close to... Yeah, pretty much everything is delivered here, so we are really close to starting making money here. This money is barely enough for maybe 2 more trucks, I think. What we have here, 7,000. Oh no, I could afford a few more trucks than just one. So if I really have to, I can do that. But I don't think I have to. And once we have truck full loads of food, we don't have to buy that anymore. That will save us a good chunk of change. Imports. Last year we are buying 19 tons. So only 19 tons saves us only $3,000, but all the other stuff we can export, and that will be great. And then we can maybe think about importing crops, which is also a good thing. So a lot of things are happening, a lot of things we need to plan for, but things are looking better than I expected. Honestly, like there's a lot going on, but there's a lot of good stuff going on. If you like this kind of stuff, like, subscribe. I also have a Patreon and a channel membership if you're into that kind of stuff. We have a Discord where we chat on and talk about ideas and other things. So I hope to see you somewhere in those places. Thank you guys for watching. Bye.